right. I am live. Hopefully, a couple people are able to pop in the next couple minutes. Um, but I'm just going to go ahead and get myself set up to start spinning. So I've got my Lendrum spinning wheel here. I have my jumbo flyer and bobbin on, which holds up to 8 ounces because I'm going to be doing a very thick yarn, which builds up quickly. And I think it's going to build up quickly. So we're gonna use the big bobbin. Hi, Perla. Nice to see you. So we've got a whole big basket of these locks, which what I've done is flicked out one end so that we still have an intact tip, but the butt end is nice and airy and ready to spin. And what I'm hoping to be able to do with this is kind of spin this fiber and leave the lock tip intact, which will make a really fun lock spun yarn. So I've got a whole bunch of that fluff here and ready to go. I've got some more in a basket next to me, and I've got my wheel all set up. So I think we're just going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to angle the camera a little bit better so that you can see what I'm doing with my hands. And then we'll just go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to take a big fistful of this fiber. Well, maybe not that big of a fistful. We'll do half of that. And get some of those ends through the leader thread. And then you see we just kind of start drafting. And this is pretty free form. A lot of times with spinning, you're doing a lot of control and, making everything very consistent and thin. And with this, you're just kind of letting it spin itself, which is fun. But you can see I'm frequently stopping to let my hands catch up to the speed of the wheel. And that's why I like doing this on my treadle wheel instead of on my e-spinner, because I can't really go consistently fast on a project like this. It doesn't really work out. So I am just doing that, kind of letting this spin itself to a fairly thick yarn with lots of lumps and bumps and fun texture in there. And you can see it starting to build up on my bobbin in a very fun kind of multicolored. It's all blue, but it's variegated, and we've got darker and lighter shades and all that jazz. What are you working on today, Perla? Are you doing any crafting? So this is, there we go. So you can see I've got a nice lock hanging off of this. It's pretty well attached, so I'm not worried about losing it. And that's a really nice, fun bit of texture there. So these are locks from a blue-faced Leicester Gotland cross. Ooh, Perla, you're working on figuring out how to spin the Etheria Rolags. That's exciting. You'll have to let me know what you decide, or if you need any tips on how to spin those, because they're going to work up really, really pretty. For anyone who doesn't know, that's a colorway that I created for a custom order for my friend Perla. And they're like pastel-y with pinks and blues and purples. And they're very fun. But as I was saying, this is a blue-faced Leicester Gotland cross fleece, which is not super soft. It's a little bit more on the coarser side. But it has really, really great locks, which is why I am making some Lockspun yarn. This yarn would be great for a couple rows of an accent on a finished object, or as an accent on a weaving project. But these are going to be sent off to somebody, actually. They are not for me. Perla says, I want a 3-ply for her Etheria Rolags, but I'm not sure if I want 3 singles or 1 giant single chain plied. Well, let's see if I can help with that. I just did this rainbow of fiber, which I chain plied, and I've been knitting it up. You'll remember this from one of our last videos. And I've been knitting it up into a vest or crop top. And this is how the colors are pooling. So you would get a self-striping kind of similar to this, Perla, I think, if you did a chain ply of the Etheria Rolags. But if you want more blended and a little bit less stripy, then you could do a true 3-ply. Hopefully that helps. Getting a little bit of a visual aid might be a little bit helpful for making that decision. But anyway, back to spinning. So this fiber is going to be sent off to, or this yarn is going to be sent off to the person who grew this fleece. We have a trade going where she sends me the fleeces that she has to process, and I spin up some of them for her and then get to keep some for myself. So I don't know if I'm going to be making a similar yarn like this for myself, or if I'm going to like comb this fiber that she sent me and maybe make socks or something hard wearing like that. We'll have to wait and see. Perla also says, you started your top already. How exciting. Yeah, I kind of just cast it on. I am improvising a pattern, which is a little bit challenging. But it's working up pretty well. I did have to rip it out the first time and re-knit, but it's on size 11 needles, so it knits up very quickly. So I'm not losing, it's not taking too much time. So yeah, I'm just spinning away at this fiber. I'll stop when I'm finished with this clump in my hand, and I'll show you what I've got on the bobbin. So let's see if I can show you this. You can really see those lock textures in the yarn, which is very fun. This is exactly what the woman who raised this sheep likes to work with. She does a lot of really, really artistic stuff using this as accents, and I think she like crochets it onto garments and stuff. And it's going to be super, super pretty when it's all said and done. So yeah, I'm just going to keep plugging away at this until my bobbin is full. And there are definitely some spots where it's much thinner and some spots where it's much thicker. But as long as there's enough twist to keep everything together, I'm pretty happy with it. It doesn't need to be perfect, doesn't need to be consistent. This is an art yarn, so it's okay for it to be a little crazy. And I also leave this yarn as a single, so I'm making sure to add twist, but not too much twist that this is overspun. There we go. Look at that. Lock, lock, lock. Beautiful. Beautiful. Those will be really fun to knit up. Hi, Jen. It's nice to see you here as well. We've just been hanging out, doing some spinning. I was just telling Perla about how I got this fiber from a farm, and the woman who grew it sent me this fleece so that I could spin half of it for her and keep half of it for myself. And this is going to be her half. And she likes Lockspun art yarns that I do. So I am just making some Lockspun art yarn for her. How are you doing today, Jen? Are you well? Oh no, I broke my yarn. That's okay though. We can fix that. So what happened is I had a thin spot that got too much twist, and it snapped right here. So let's see if I can show that to you. Yeah. But that's okay. I fixed it, and now we can get back to it. This fleece is also not the best. It's got some VM, it's got some cotting, which is a term for felting when it happens in the fleece or on the sheep's back. And that's why I kind of went through and flicked out all of these locks before I went to spin them. I find that it makes this spinning process go much more smoothly and much more easily if you do that fiber prep ahead of time. And as I was telling folks right when I started this video, I had gone ahead and prepped this fiber by flicking out the butt end and leaving the tip end intact. So we still have that fun lock structure curliness, but the other end is nice and easy to spin. So hopefully that makes good sense. I'm glad you're doing all right, Jen. I hope that tuning into this today is a fun highlight for you. You get to enjoy hanging out with us today. Feel free to ask me any questions, send me any comments. This is just some time for us to hang out. So let me know if you want to say anything. I spent the morning trying to figure out some live streaming software so that I can have multiple camera angles, but I think I might have to pay for that. So I haven't figured that quite out yet. But I'm working on it so that you can really get a close-up of my hands during this process or similar processes. You can see that's building up pretty quickly. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is a 8-ounce bobbin, so it holds quite a bit, and it's already filling up pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm just spinning away at this yarn, making some fun lockspun textures. This is kind of dirty fleece. I'm getting some pieces of VM, even though I went and flicked this out beforehand, but that's okay. It'll still be a nice enough yarn when it's all spun up. But that's what happens with fleeces that you're trying to keep locks intact. You can occasionally come across little pieces of vegetable matter or VM. Jen says, "You're always fun to hang out with. You know how much I love what you do. I love the blue colors of the locks, and I'm sure the shepherdess is going to love her yarn." Thank you, Jen. That is very, very kind of you to say. I hope she likes it. She's liked everything I've made for her so far. I haven't gotten complaints from her, so that's good. I'm getting into some like seafoam greens now. A little bit of this darker blue. Very fun. Very fun colors. I also wanted to show you, particularly you two, Perla and Jen, because I forgot to show you last week. It's my finished socks. So that's pretty exciting. I wrapped these up about a week ago. They are Valkyrie fibers, in the C1 dash or C10. I don't know. Chopper. It's the chopper socks. And I love them. I love the very top of the ribbing before you get to the green because it kind of looks like candy corn. When I was knitting them up, I kept thinking about how it looked like candy corn, and that was very funny to me. No, not from the haul I just got. I got this yarn at least a year ago because I knit some for Alex, and then I knit these ones up for myself. I'm not that fast of a knitter, Perla. I wish. I wish I could knit that fast. Jen says they're amazing. Thank you, Jen. That is very, very sweet. I'm very happy with them. I'm excited for it to get a little colder again so I can get back to wearing my hand knits. Perla says, I'm still very impressed. Well, it took me about a year to finish this pair. I think I started them in October of last year. So they were not a fast knitting project, but I'm glad it's done. Just found this lock, which has a whole bunch of VM up there in the tip, which I'm just going to remove because it's gross and I don't need that in the finished yarn. Like I said, there's some VM in this, but that's a lot of VM, which I'd rather not put in the finished yarn. Jen says, you should live here. Summer's been and gone. Apparently July was the wettest on record. Yeah, we've had a pretty wet summer as well. And it hasn't been awful temperature-wise here in Massachusetts, but we've had some pretty hot days, and today is warm. It's not too hot. I prefer the cold. Do you guys have any requests for future live streams? I'm planning on doing these every Wednesday indefinitely. So I need more ideas other than just doing spinning and knitting projects. So let me know if you have any other ideas or requests for stuff to do during a live stream, which you would like to watch in real time. Perla says, I never thought of myself as a cold weather person until moving to South Florida. It's been ungodly hot this year. I am so sorry to hear that, Perla. I would not want to live in Florida. That is just not my vibe. But I hope that you're able to enjoy it even with the hot temperatures. So you can see right now, I've got this lock that I'm trying to draft apart, and it's caughted because there's no twist in it, but I still have to work to pull it apart. So that's a good example of cotting in a fleece. In this fleece, which is not the best fleece. It definitely has some issues with it, but sheep are living beings, and sometimes they get into dirt and debris. Sometimes they get sick, and the fiber will reflect that. Can't do a ton about it. It's just the way it works, and you need to either not work with fleeces that have those issues, or find a way to work with them. Perla asks, what is your favorite fleece or fiber to spin? I like all of them. I like having a good variety. That's why I have such a good variety behind me. But I really like Romney. I really like Polwarth. I really like Blue-Faced Leicester. It depends on the individual fleece, I think. Like the favorite fiber that I've spun recently would probably be the alpaca fleece that I've been working my way through, just because that's a really, really nice fiber. And the way that I'm prepping it, it's just been spinning like an absolute dream. That was the Polwarth that I hand combed using combing milk. And I've got a video about that if you haven't seen it yet. So I am just spinning away, making this fun Lockspun yarn. Perla says that the Polwarth combing video was a good video. Thank you, Perla. All right, making good progress. Look at how filled this bobbin is getting. We still got plenty of fiber to work through, though. So I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. My plan is to fill up this bobbin during this live. So once it's full, we will be wrapping up, but that will be a little bit longer. Oh, both Perla and Jen liked that live, or that Polwarth video. So thank you both. So I dyed this fiber several years ago at this point. It's a fleece that I've been working on and off for, I don't know, two years maybe. It's not my favorite to work with because, like I said, it does have cotting and it does have VM, and this one might have had a break in it too. But I'm getting to it now, and that's something. It is something that I need to get done so that I can send stuff off to the farmer who grew it, but she said that there is no rush on that. I don't have to get it to her by any specific date. She just wants it back eventually. Jen wants to know, have you got any more dyeing planned? So right now I have a lot of stuff dyed that I need to work through and spin. And I don't know, I have stuff that I can dye. I just don't have passionate plans for any of it. So like I've got a whole bunch of undyed top. I've got some fleeces that are undyed, but nothing that I'm like really excited to be working with. So it's not super on my radar. I think I will get one dye day in this summer just so that I can make a video about it. But I don't really need to do dyeing because I have lots of colors to play with already. Would you like to see a dyeing video, Jen? So yeah, I'm just spinning away, working on filling up this bobbin with some of this Lockspin yarn, which spins up a little bit crazy, but is also very fun texture, which you can work into any project to add a little bit of fun, a little bit of texture, a little bit of interest, visual interest. Perla says, yes, dyeing videos are fun. And Jen says, I loved the fleeces that you dyed at the beginning here on YouTube. That was actually my very first video. It didn't come out in order publicly because for a bit I was just sharing videos with friends and not posting them publicly until I felt like I had kind of figured it out. So the very first video I recorded was my dye day spoils video where I talked about all of the stuff I had dyed like 2 days prior. That was the very first video that I recorded. Way back in April. If anybody has any questions about anything, please let me know. I see we have a couple new viewers, so I'm going to just go ahead and review what I'm doing. This is some blue-faced Leicester Gotland dyed fleece that I dyed, and then I went through and processed it partially. So I went and flicked out this end, leaving the lock tip intact. And now I am just spinning that, trying to leave the lock tips intact to make a nice, fun, textured lock spun yarn. Jen says, it doesn't seem that long ago since you posted your first video. It's been so good to be here with you from the start. It's been nice for me too, Jen. I like having followers who comment and interact with me and make me feel like I'm not just posting into a void, because occasionally that does happen, but it's been nice having comments from you and stuff like that, so that I know my videos are being received and are bringing enjoyment to folks. That makes me really happy. All right. So we're making good progress filling up this bobbin. It's looking very good. Nice, fun, textured yarns. Jen says, "You're very much appreciated. Thank you for sharing everything you do." Thank you, Jen. There's a big piece of VM. Let's get that out of there. Don't need that. Oh, Alex is here. Hi, Alex. Ever found anything weird in a fleece? I find bugs sometimes, dead bugs. It's always fun when you don't find them until you're washing it and they get rehydrated. Other than that, just kind of vegetable matter type stuff. So, like seed capsules and stuff like that. Perla's grossed out by my dead bug story. Sorry, Perla. And Jen says, "Hi, Alex. Hope you're not working too hard. You'll have to let us know if you are, Alex." Bugs definitely wouldn't be fun, Jen says. Yeah, they're not my favorite part about playing with fleece, that's for sure. All right, we're getting close to filling this bobbin, because we're gonna go, all the way out to this flyer arm, as far out as we can. But the bobbin itself is starting to get full. So I'd say probably another 15 or so minutes. This is going to be a little bit shorter than we've been doing for live streams, but that's okay. We're still having fun here. Friendly reminder to folks that if you like this video, please give it a like so I know that you are enjoying it. And I would say go ahead and subscribe, but I'm pretty sure all of you are at this point. Alex says, I'm here, aren't I? Which I think means he's not working too hard. So that's good. I'm doing a little bit of ripping with these locks because they are just a touch cotted. So I can hear the fibers ripping apart, which is not the funnest thing. It's, like I said, this isn't the greatest fleece to work with between the VM and the cotting, but we make do, we spin yarn, and at least it's colorful and bright. That's something, right? Ugh. I am no longer enjoying this spinning project. It is starting to get on my nerves a little bit. But we're almost done, so I'm just gonna keep chugging away. Get it done. Perla says, oh no. I think it's not the end of the world. It feels a little bit more like work than play right now, but I think that's all right. It's not like I'm being tortured or anything like that. It's just not my favorite fiber to spin. Jen says I look like I've had enough. Oh my, I'm sorry, friends. I'm not trying to be a bummer. I'm just trying to get this done at this point, I'm afraid. I'm also a little bit tired. I had physical therapy this morning because my ankle's been bothering me, and I used a lot of energy doing that. Between getting there, doing the physical therapy, and now I'm treadling with that ankle, so it's also getting a little bit more tired from that. So that's all right. Not having the best day, but that's all right. I'm glad I'm here with you, and I'm getting this crafting done, which it needs to get done regardless. So I'm glad I'm getting it done. Looking on the bright side. Jen says, hope your ankle soon heals. I do too. It's been a bit of a journey, but I think this physical therapy that I'm doing is helping. I've got some exercises to do every day, and they seem to be helping. It's just treadling is a little bit hard on it, and especially after PT. I wasn't really thinking when I scheduled this on the same day as PT. So it is what it is, but I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna finish this because I want to get this bobbin filled. So even if we weren't doing this live stream, I think I would be like, I'm not getting up until this bobbin is filled. It needs to get done. I just dropped a whole bunch of fluff on the ground, so I have to go grab that in a sec. Oh gosh, friends, I have dropped so much little tiny pieces of VM on the ground. I'm gonna have to vacuum after this. It's just like the tiniest little pieces. Perla says, how did you hurt your ankle? I tackled a dog. She had gotten a hold of something she shouldn't have, and we were in a little bit of a time crunch to get it away from her before she ate it. So I had to tackle her in order to get it away from her, which worked, but unfortunately may have done a number on my ankle for the last couple months. So I'm doing some physical therapy to try to make it hurt less and strengthen it a little bit. Perla says, what? And Jen says, ouch. I agree, guys. I agree. So I want to give you guys some teasers for some stuff that's coming out in the next week. Since you're here and you've made it this far. So on Friday, we have a video talking about a combing project I'm doing, which I've been working on for a bit, but I had done a live stream about it and wanted to do a proper video about it as well. And then Monday's video is going to be about spinning on a great wheel or a walking wheel, which is one of those big, 4 or 5 foot tall wheels that you turn with your hand and draft with one hand. And I'm going to show you my wheel and how I use it, and we're going to spin some yarn together. And those are the videos I have scheduled out so far. And then next Wednesday, we will also be having a live stream. I just haven't decided what the topic for that is going to be yet. So let me know if you have any ideas for that. Perla says, you have a great wheel? Yes, I do. It lives upstairs, so it isn't something that I've shown in my videos yet. But like I said, there will be one coming out on next Monday. So less than a week away. Jen says, those both sound interesting and fun. Thank you, Jen. I think they do too. I'm really excited about the Great Wheel video. I show you how I prep fiber for it. I show you my wheel. I show you how I spin and how to take the yarn off the wheel when you're done filling the spindle. It's a very cool video. So I hope you all enjoy it. All right, it looks like we are on the last layer of yarn. So I just need to finish filling it towards myself, and then we will be done. Jen says, I'm sure we will enjoy them. Thank you. You're welcome, Jen. I'm glad that you are looking forward to them. Alrighty, so we are almost done. I think my ankle is done. I have switched to treadling with one foot because my right ankle is tired. So I think I'm just going to finish off this handful, and then we're going to call it a video. So I hope that you all enjoyed. I hope that you all have a great day and get some crafting in. Perla, you have to let me know how the Etheria spin goes. I'm very excited to see pictures of that all spun up. Jen, I'm so happy that you could make it again. It was so nice to hang out with you, and thank you so much for your supportive messages. They are so appreciated. If you haven't liked this video already, feel free to go ahead and give it a little like so that I know you liked it. Leave any comments that you might have below, and I will answer them in a pretty quick fashion. I'm usually good about that. And subscribe if you haven't already. I hope that you have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye, friends.